Alright, continuing on. So I decided I was to continue doing one per action star. So what have I done so far? We have Van Damme, Stallone, Statham, Seagal, and Jackie Chan. Now we have Bruce Willis, the last Boy Scout. You know, when you watch a movie and you wonder to yourself, why didn't I watch that sooner? When the kids of the last Boy Scout, why the hell didn't I watch this sooner? This movie was great. Bruce Willis is a former Secret Service agent, now working as a private detective. He gets a call from his buddy Mike to protect the stripper exotic dancer, which leads him to her. And when she is murdered, he teams up with her boyfriend to take down those who may be involved. So, yeah. This came out in 1991. Before Die Hard with a Vengeance. After Die Hard 2, but before Die Hard with a Vengeance, so. I think it's probably the first time that Bruce Willis worked with an African American actor. Apparently, Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans didn't get along very well. You probably could tell. I mean, it works very well for them on screen. They have great chemistry. It's people who are always going off on each other and arguing. It works. This movie was written by Shane Black, which, and Shane Black likes Christmas, but this has the least Christmas stuff in it. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Long Kiss Goodnight's a Christmas movie. Also, Shane Black. I think Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie. So, yeah, there's only a small amount of Christmas in this, but yeah. So Bruce Willis plays Joe, who is, like I said, a former Secret Service agent who decided not to look the other way when protecting someone. He's abusing someone. The guy he's protecting was abusing someone. He said not to look the other way and ended up hitting him, so he got, the boot. So now he works as a private detective. He gets a call from his friend Mike, who tells him that he has a job protecting an exotic dancer, but he can't do it. He goes home, and he finds out that this guy is actually sleeping with his wife, but the guy blows up. When his car blows up, it goes poof. And so now he's out to avenge the guy who slept with his wife. Yeah. And, revenge. So, the exotic dancer, Corey, is played by Holly Berry. And I was shocked when she died just 30 minutes into this film. I was like, wait, what? Huh? Future Oscar winner, Holly Berry, shot and killed 30 minutes into this film. And she had less than that in screen time. She maybe not even 10 minutes of screen time. And she dies. She does make a cat joke. She's laying down with Damon Wayans' character, Jimmy. And she goes, "You're going to make me purr," or something like that. And I'm like, ugh. Hindsight. Not a good line to, maybe she shouldn't be saying that line. But this was early. It's like her second or third role in a film. So it was early in her career. But, yeah, she gets taken out. And Jimmy, played by Damon Wayans, is a former football player who abused drugs and was taken off the team, I guess. Beginning of this has Billy Blanks, yes, the Tybo guy, Billy Bootcamp Billy Blanks, shooting himself in the head because of pressure. Like, he's supposed to win the game, so he goes out there with a gun and shoots a bunch of people and then shoots himself. I really don't know why that scene was in there, other than it does connect to Marcone, the guy who's forcing, to make bets work or whatever, do the gambling, but wouldn't it have made more sense if you showed some of Jimmy's backstory, you know, how he's not doing so good and they discover he's on drugs or something. Would make more sense because it really doesn't really have any effect on the rest of the film. They never mention it. It never comes back. Other than we can assume it has to do with Marcone, you know, forcing his way, trying to force him, you know, sort of thing. I want to put a spotlight on a certain actor. Taylor Negron. May he rest in peace. Taylor Negron is known for playing comedic characters, but in this film, he plays a henchman named Milo, and he is terrifying. You would not think that if you've seen him in as much comedy stuff as I have, like that Mary-Kate and Ashley TV show, So Little Time. He was even a recurring character, I think, on the Hughleys. He's been in a lot of comedy stuff. The Disney Channel version of the movie You Lucky Dog. He's been a comedy guy, but to see him in this as such a dark, evil type henchman type character, he's great. He's great. Danielle Harris is in this. She plays Joe's daughter. He and his wife are kind of estranged. They're not getting along at the moment, but you know. Yeah. So like I said, there's great chemistry between Willis and Wayans. You know, it's weird. I watched a buddy cop movie last night with the Wayans, and now a buddy cop movie with the Wayans. So yeah, there are some action sequences in here that are pretty good. The quips back and forth. It's Shane Black. So you're gonna have some good comedy and some good action in your scripts. Apparently, he had to rewrite this, and the version they shot was so horrible they had to re-edit it into this film. And it's lucky it came out as good as it did, man. Because I really enjoyed it. I've heard so many people saying, "Oh, you know what's one of the, you know, what's a good action movie from the '90s?" And they're, "Oh, The Last Boy Scout." And I'm like, I've never seen it. So I bought this from eBay last year with the intention of reviewing it, and never did. And now I'm finally getting to it, and I'm glad I did. There are certain like sequences in this that are great. Like even some quips. Like a lot of people will point out this scene, but I think it's one of the best scenes in the movie. When they're on their way, when they get ready, they find out that Darian, that's Joe's daughter, has been kidnapped. They make their way to the stadium where Marcone is so that they can get her back. And they just killed Milo, or not Milo, they killed off Kim Coates' character. Kim Coates is a bad guy? No way! But, killed him off, and they took all his weapons and stuff, and they had this stuff called, what is it called? Shakers, shimmers, something like that. I really gotta know what it is. What is it? It's not shocker. It's something else. But like shank. But when they gotten, caught by Marcone and his man, they said, hey, the money is in a locker. Here's the key. Throws the key in the fire, and he goes, it's one of those new plastic keys. It's and he refers to that thing, which cues in Joe to go, get down! And just explosion. I love that scene. Wish I could remember what it was called. Memory not so good sometimes. Yes, and then they find out on top of this whole gambling thing, that they're gonna kill the senator. Milo, that's Negron's character, he has a sniper rifle. He's gonna shoot the senator so that Marcone can end his deal, I think. But Joe was able to come in there, save the day. And earlier they mentioned that he was he said something about dancing a jig. So after he saves him, he's up there dancing. What's he doing? He's dancing. And prompting Wayans to say, he's a bad dancer, but a hell of a detective. Just one thing I can say I didn't like. It's the framing. Like, at one point, the cops find out that Mike was sleeping with Joe's wife, which automatically to the cops means Joe did it. Joe killed him. Because, cops in movies, you're guilty. No innocence for you. You're just guilty. If they think you're guilty, you're guilty. So, automatically, there's a connection. You did it. So, yeah, they find out that Mike was sleeping with Joe's wife. And they're like, oh, well, Joe killed him then. And so they try to arrest him. And, like, I do like, though, when they're in the arena and the cops walk by and say, oh, shit. Jimmy's like, oh, shit. What? Forgot to tell you, you're a wanted man. What? Yeah, because he's wanted by the cops because they think. Like, there's a random scene, like, these henchmen beat up Jimmy and throw him off a bridge onto a car underneath. It's like, why is that in there? It's really weird. Maybe it was like an editing accident where it wasn't supposed to be in there. It's just out of place. And it does kind of suffer from that whole thing where if you introduce a family member, they're going to get taken. I guess in the original script, his wife was supposed to get taken. And Bruce Willis said, I don't want to be in another movie. I have to save my wife. Did that twice with both Die Hards. So it was changed to the daughter. But as soon as they introduced the daughter, played by Danielle Harris, I was like, okay, she's going to get taken at some point, and she does. So, yeah. Very obvious it was going to happen, but, And my God, the language coming out of here. Danielle Harris in 1991 was what? 13? 12? Something like that. And the language coming out of her. Tell you what, I'd have had my mouth washed out with soap several times at that age. Let me tell you. Michael Kamen did the score. It's a good score, too. It's directed by Tony Scott, who did Top Gun, which is another good movie. But yeah, this was pretty good. They do have a thing in the end where, because they had the whole briefcase with the money, and they tell them, oh, the briefcase is in the backseat of the BMW, white BMW, and it's not in there, and they check the trunk, and there's a briefcase in there, but it's got the money, and they're like, Marcone got the wrong briefcase, and then he explodes. And they laugh. It's like, okay. And then, where does this last Boy Scout name come from? Well, apparently that's what Jimmy calls, forgot his name. Bruce Willis's character, the last Boy Scout. They get it from the scene where he signs the football card. There's actually a pretty good scene where, they go to check out Corey's apartment, and that's when they find another car with another bomb in it. And they take the bomb out, and then they have evidence, but the evidence doesn't go anywhere because they ruin it in the tape. Yeah, I can relate to this. Y'all remember when you had cassette tapes? And you try to listen to it, and sometimes the cassette tape would eat it so you can't listen to your music anymore. That's what it does in here. Like, he has it in a cassette player, and you're trying to listen to what's going on. We don't get any really information because they don't want to spoil it, so he tries to fast forward it, and it eats the tape. You ever get that? Even with video tapes, VHS, when the VCR would eat the tapes, it sucked. Yeah. So, what was I going to say? I forgot. Yes, they check out the apartment, and Jimmy goes in the bathroom or something, and they go back to Bruce Willis's house, and he's still, I gotta use the bathroom, or whatever, and that's where Bruce Willis catches him, with the drugs, and he gets all pissed off and tells him to leave, and then you find out in the very next scene from his daughter that he was a big fan of Jimmy's and quit watching football when he got kicked out and everything. So there's a connection. I like that very much. I enjoyed this film. And they don't make movies like these anymore. 80s and 90s action films is really where it works out for you. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I do recommend this. And to me, The Last Boy Scout is pretty good. So like I said, I'm going to start just going from action star to action star. So who's next? If I'm not going to go back around again, who's next? It's not Goldberg. Don't get misconstrued. What would I watch anyway? Half Past Dead 2? I like the first one. Instead, we're going to go for Mr. Harrison Ford. A little movie about a plane in the sky where he's the president. It's called Air Force One. So look forward to that. But until then, what are your thoughts on The Last Boy Scout? Leave them in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.